welcome to my channel once again, and my name is Chamaka Inekoa, and this is the Real Deal with Amaka. I got into some discussion with some group of kids and teenagers, and I had to ask them some questions. There's this particular topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a very long time, and I've been waiting for the perfect opportunity to talk about it. What I'm going to be talking about has to do with the experience from children right now. Now the thing is, I don't know what happens, but we were all children at some point. We were all teenagers at some point, but we grow up, become adults, and it's almost like we forget what it was like to be a child, to be a teenager, and we become the very nightmares that we dreaded, while growing up as teenagers. We become those same things to the teenagers we have around us. Take for instance the way parents got to train their children back in the day, and we grow up and we are doing exactly the same thing that we used to complain about. So guys, I got my book here, and in this book I have written down different things that your children, your teenagers want me to tell you. They asked me to help tell you adults to tell adults that these are the things they don't like, these are the things they don't want, okay? And I need us to understand that the family is the most important part of the society, and the children, even if it doesn't seem like it, they are still the future. Okay, so I'm going to be reading for you guys all the different things that they said I should talk about, that they hate, that pains their hearts, but they're afraid to tell you because you guys are like the lion and lionesses in their lives, and they feel like, oh, if they talk about it, that you may just devour them, so they don't even get to talk about it. But me, I'm going to talk about it because we can do better to our children. Some parents are catching the memo already. They are like, in tune with it, but some parents are still like dragging feet. Let's get into this video and let me tell you what your kids asked me to say to you. Okay, good. So number one, things that you do to your kids that they hate and they wish that you could stop: let them have friends. Yes, the number one thing your kids want you to know is that you should allow them to have friends. Some parents are still like really very strict. They don't want their kids to socialize. They don't want them to have friends. They're always like, oh, this person is bad, or that person is bad, and they say, oh, this person is not good for you, this person is bad for, and they say, this person is bad for you, this person is not good for you, and they tend to dictate what friends their children should have. Okay, I'm going to be giving you clear examples, like real life examples. So there was this really young girl. She is currently 17 years old, and I got speaking to her at some point, and she was complaining to me that her auntie, her mom, they said to her that they don't like the friends that she was keeping. They were bad company, and they don't want her to keep friends anymore. And she was really hurt because she was like, those her friends meant so much to her, those are friends that are always there for her and all of that. So I got concerned because she was hurt. I mean, at 17 years old, that was really what she was caring about, and you can't really blame her. Like, that's the age. I mean, we are all here thinking about how to pay bills, but at that particular age, her major problem is she wants her friends, and her family doesn't want her to keep her friends. So I called her and I said, I want you to come. I want to have a lunch date with you and all your friends. How many friends do you have? I want to buy you guys lunch and let's have a chit chat. That's what I said, because I wanted to really get to know her friends and know why her family doesn't want her to have those friends. Okay, so fast forward to the lunch date. Her friends did come for the lunch date, and believe me, these were amazing people. They were smart, they were witty, they were intelligent. I mean, they were all sort of things in their own regards. And among her friends was her boyfriend. She was 17 years old, but she already has a boyfriend. And I'm not even going to go into that details to start fighting and kicking her like, why do you have a boyfriend? Okay, I'm going to get to that, but let's tackle this first one first, which is friends. And I communicated with her friends. I found out that she had different categories of friends. She had friends who were headed somewhere in life, who were focused, who knew what they wanted to do. She had friends who they knew what they wanted, but they were not quite in that line. But they wished that they actually had the right guides to guide them. And then she also had a group of friends that were still just floating. They don't know what they want to do in the next 2 days. They don't even know what they want to do in the next 1 year. They don't even know the course they want to study or what they were going to fill in their jam. So she had all those kind of friends, and I really wanted to get to know her friends. So when they all came, and I watched them, I studied them, we chatted, we discussed, and I made them feel completely at ease with me to tell me all manner of things. And guys, it's not a new deal, but I got to understand that these teenagers were already eating the fruits that should not be eaten at that age. But there's nothing you can do to them, because if you shout, if you scream, they'll just pull away from you, and that's it. So I got to really just be their friend, and they opened up a lot to me. Now, fast forward to why her family wouldn't want her to have friends. So I had to call her when all her friends were gone, and I was like, listen, I like your friends. They're amazing people. And I began to highlight each and every one of them. And I'm like, what do you want for your life? And I'm like, you see this person is going somewhere, this person is doing this, you see this person, you have to find a way to distance yourself from this person. You see this person, you need to talk to her and try to motivate her and try to inspire her. But if you try to pick her up and she doesn't want to stand up, you have to let her go and keep moving. So I was really able to talk to her, and then there were some persons that were not too good for her, and then I was able to talk to her and make her see reasons why these persons may not be so good for her in the long term. Not actually telling her dump your friends, but I made her see the beneficial aspect of having worthy friends. So yeah, parents, your teenage children don't like it when you're shouting on them, don't have friends, because whether you like it or not, these kids are going to grow up. And I mean, look at us. We need friends whether we like it or not, because you need business partners, you need connections, you need people who are going to point you in the right direction. You can't just make it in life on your own. I mean, even when you start a business, yeah, your friends, family may not patronize it. That's a cliche, but when you have the right friends, you're going to see support systems coming from your friends. You're going to get people to when you have the right friends, instead of you telling your kids don't make friends, you should just simply help them to make the right friends that will not just help them for them now, but will also set them up for later. Okay, so that's number one thing. Let them have friends. Your kids are saying to you, you should allow them to have friends. Be involved with their friends. I used to remember when I was in university, and there was this woman who would come visit her children, and she would want to see all the friends of all her children, and she would want to interact with all of us. She would want to have a discussion with all of us, and even the boyfriends of her daughters, she wanted to see them. And she was really very free and very open, and we were all wowed by it, like, wow, how can this woman be this free? But the truth is, she was really a very smart woman, because she can always handpick and detect what kind of association her children were keeping while she was playing the role of their friend as well. Okay, so let's go into the number 2 thing that your children don't want you doing to them. And when I'm saying children, okay, this doesn't have to only mean when you have kids. Also, when you have younger ones that are still teenagers, that are still kids, when you're guiding, when you're guiding to someone who's still a teenager or who is still a child. Okay, so it also applies. And the next thing I'm going to be talking about is don't cage them at home. Don't cage them at home. A lot of parents are used to caging their kids inside the house and feeling, oh, I don't want you to go out, I don't want you to socialize, I don't want you to mingle, oh, you're going to get corrupted. Let me tell you, your child is already corrupt. I don't know how to say this to be clearer to you, for you to understand better, but your child is already corrupt. And I need you to flash back to when you were a teenager. I need you to flash back to him when you were a child. I mean, were there those certain things you were already doing, you already knew at that particular age? So what makes you think that in this generation your child doesn't know it? Please. Look, at 10 years old, 10 years old, children are already doing funny stuff that you have no idea about. So caging your children is not the best bet for you. In my opinion, I'm going to suggest you actually give them as much exposure, as much guided, supervised exposure as possible. Take them out on events. Don't let your kids become shy, timid. They grow up into adults that can't even express themselves. They grow up into adults that don't even know what's happening in the society. Like, things are changing ASAP at the flick of a finger, because the ways to make money these days is completely different. And let's tell ourselves the truth. You don't want your kids to not be in the same level with their peers, or even better. You want them to be backward and, laid back in life. Please allow them. It's okay for them to attend parties, supervised parties. As children, as teenagers, you should know, okay, I'm going for a party. Fine. If you want, you can be involved with whatever they have to wear. Know who and who will be attending the party, where it's going to hold. Give them a life. Take them for some shows, for some events. Let them grow. Let them spread their wings. Let them be in the know. Do you understand? So don't cage your children and think, oh, you have to keep them in their house. See, let me just tell you the truth. See, that child you're locking inside your house 24 hours 7 is worse than that one that is going out there. And the day they finally go out there, because they are naive, it will show that they are naive, and people will definitely take advantage of them. So stop caging your child. Okay, good. Okay, so the next thing on my list is, don't just be a parent, be a friend. Yes, I know that this new generation parents, like parents from like the last decade, they've really been trying to change the status quo. Like, a lot of times we used to have like parents who were just parents. Like, people, not everybody has that privilege of having parents who were friends. Like, sometimes you have to be the first gist partner to your children, both males and females alike. I'm not just going to come out here and say, okay, to your female child, girl child, what about the boy child? Some men are raised very silly. We have very silly men in society today because they didn't have a good upbringing. And if you keep impacting and empowering only the women, it means you're going to have empowered women for lazy ass men. So you have to learn to be a friend to your children. Talk with them, just to them. Be the first to know when they have issues, and not just because you are probing into their life, like, tell me what happened. No, like, it has to flow naturally. Like the way I'm talking to you guys, because you guys are like my friends, the way I'm talking to you is the same way that you're going to have to talk to them. Let them feel very comfortable around you. Let them come to you first when they have an issue. Be their friend, be their succor. I mean, if your child says, I'm hurting and I want to talk, don't push them away. If you push them away, they will never come back to you. And when they tell you something that is a secret and they tell you, please keep this, do not tell anybody. I beg of you. For no reason should you tell anybody about it. You should keep it to yourself, because they were able to confide in you. And then when they tell you things, don't go about judging and condemning and shouting and trying to be a parent at the first instant. I think it helps for you to just be a friend first, understand them from their point of view, and see reasons why they did what they did, sympathize with them, and then make them understand that if they have to suffer a certain kind of punishment for their actions, if their actions weren't appropriate, make them understand that you're taking this action as a parent, as a form of correction. And believe me, your kids are going to feel happier and loved up. Yes, but if you just go about, you hear something nasty they did and you flare up and begin to scream, you're going to lose that child. Like, when I mean lose that child will be forever detached from you, and there's nothing you're going to do about it. I mean it, seriously. And the next thing is, allow them make their own choices, guided by you. Yes, allow your children make their own choices. I know sometimes you're like, oh, they don't know what they want, they're still young, I have to choose for them. Listen. Number one thing is, I know parents will always be like, I want my child to be a doctor, nurse. I thank God, like, in this generation right now, all those nasty things doesn't really exist as it used to, in the 20s. Somewhere from 2010 downwards, it was a rave. Everybody has to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, and nurse. Look, I know broke lawyers. I know broke doctors, trust me. So, especially in this country, right? So people now make money from different, look at online comedians, look at YouTube creators. People are making money from different unconventional things, okay? So, I know that gonna be days when you tell your child you have to be this, you have to be that. Allow them make their own choices. Just guide them in the right direction. In this particular present day and time, I still see some children who say things like they want to go to university and study XYZ. They have no knowledge about it, and they're going to waste 4 to 5 years of their life studying rubbish that will not be of any importance to them. I said rubbish because it may not really be rubbish to someone else, but it will be rubbish to them. I'm going to give you an example. When I was in school, I used to know this girl. She was in the medical field. She was studying optometry at the time, and somewhere around her 200 to 300 level, she had to pull out, and she said she was going to study food science and technology because she loves food, cooking, baking, creating things. It was her passion, and she already was a self-taught baker. She was already making money from these things. She was already getting recognition from these things. And according to her, she said her mom wants her to be an optometrist. So you can imagine that she continued studying that course after 6 years, maybe extra 1 year for internship, 7 years, and then she comes out, and then she still goes back to learn culinary service and how to be a baker and all of those things. That would have been wasted 7 years of her life. I know somebody is going to say, hey, but she will use some experiences. Oh, girl, please, it's better you put in, even if it's 4 years, to study mass communication, and it makes an impact in your life and your future and fetches you money. Because at the end of the day, growing up as an adult, you need money. I'm sorry, but then you need money because everything around you needs money. You have to be an adult. Being an adult means having your own money. So you don't want to sponsor your child into a field they're not going to enjoy. They'll still abandon and start running around, still chasing after their passion and seeking ways to monetize their passion. So it's better they are set on the right course early enough. So guide them. Now, something one child highlighted for me, which I want to talk about, is the fact that children complain that their parents will always want to dictate what they want to wear or what they don't want to wear, and they hate it, and they feel like they really want to express themselves in their own clothing. I'm going to use myself as an example because I could really relate to that child when the child was talking to me. Because when I was growing up, my family loved me, yeah. I had my elder sister who would always want to buy what she likes for me. And sometimes I'm like, I don't want this clothes, I don't like this thing. And she would definitely force it on me, like, you have to wear it, you must wear it. And I grew up having her fashion sense and not exactly my fashion sense, because I wanted to dress in a different kind of way, and she always wanted me to dress in a different kind of way. They were good clothing, like good quality, expensive wear, but they were not what I liked. They were not the pattern of clothes I liked. They were not the pattern of dressing I liked. And I was shaping in that form, which is quite unhealthy for me. So I'm going to say that, from what that child was saying, I could really relate because I was laughing when she was talking to me, and she was like, she really wants to express herself the way she wants. Trust me, you can allow your children dress the way they want. Just guide them. If it's too extreme, you can, sit them down and give them reasons, gently, sweetly, why they can have this, they cannot really have this, and allow them to have what they want. But ensure, maybe if it's too skimpy, you can put like a net leggings under it. If it's too open, you can put like a vest inside of it, for them to be covered and still be able to wear exactly what they want, right? Good. Another thing that your kids want you to know that they are not really happy with that you do to them is the fact that you get to embarrass and disgrace them publicly. Yes. Some parents do this. They think that it's all fun and games. They think that it's the kind of punishment when they get to embarrass their children in public in front of their friends, and you are happy and you think you've done well as a parent. The truth is, you are killing your child softly, because you might end up losing that child to inferiority complex. You might end up losing that child to lack of self-confidence, because that child may no longer be confident enough when they come in the midst of their peers. Let's say you disgrace them concerning something. Let's pick something as popular as what am I going to say, something that is not too harsh, not too okay. Let's say children bedwet. So let's say you come out publicly to disgrace your child and let the whole world know that they actually used to bedwet. Seriously, that can be really damaging to their mental health. I mean, you make that child to withdraw because their friends will always laugh at them, and you're not even thinking about the futuristic aspect implication of what you're doing. They will grow up into adults, and if you're making them so withdrawn from their friends, people are laughing at them, they'll always grow up as adults who think they are never good enough to be, among their peers, and it's going to affect them in life. So don't for any reason embarrass them in public. Let's say you'll be like, oh, you've not washed all the plates, and you come out and say, oh, my child is too lazy. Oh, yeah, John, you are very lazy, you can't even wash plates, you can't even keep your room tidy, and you want to say it in front of their friends thinking that that's the best help. Even if you feel okay, you do that and they change and adjust, you have killed something inside of them that will remain dead even till they grow up as adults. So you want to do better in that regards. Don't go about embarrassing them. Show now they are human beings that have feelings and emotions. I mean, you were once a child, weren't you? Of course you were. So the next thing I want to talk about is that the kids, sometimes some children are complaining that their parents do not listen to them, and their parents do not have time for them, and their parents do not have time to communicate with them. So you have to make out time for your children. Like, some of them are feeling hurt and they feel like their parents don't listen to them, their parents don't take advice from them. Sometimes even if you feel their advice is silly, sometimes just listen to them. They want that feeling of belonging. They want you to just spend time and listen to all the rubbish they have to say. And I have nieces and nephews who blab, like who blab. I don't know what they're saying, but sometimes especially my nephew, and then he comes and he's talking, and he wants to say so many things that I don't even know about, and guy, like, what's my phone? He wants to tell you, auntie, there's my friend in the school, his name is Francis, and he's talking. I'm like, wow, what happened? Just like that. Involved. Even if the story, I can't even remember all the things he says, but because it wasn't like a serious issue. But you have to learn to listen, because sometimes when you listen to your children talk to you, you're going to hear their pain, their hurt, you're going to hear the things they're passing through, and they know that they will be able to confide in you, they can trust you, so yeah, make out time to listen to them. So I've highlighted most of these things that your children really seek. They want love. Your kids actually want you to express your love for them. Yes, start from early. Like, I don't know if there's still parents who are unable to say I love you to their child. I know you love them and you show your love for them through some act of love, but sometimes saying I love you and affirming sweet, beautiful things to them, like you're beautiful, you're pretty, you're smart, and acknowledge them when they do something great. Be like, wow, you came first in class, oh, you passed this subject, oh, you matched your clothes perfectly, oh, you made this drawing. Make them feel super really special when they do these special things. They want you to say I love you, I care about you. Okay, these are the things your kids want. So I've mentioned different things that your children want. They definitely don't want to be caged. They definitely don't want you to embarrass them. They definitely I had to look into the book, guys. These are the things I wrote from them, so it's not from my head this time around. Okay, so yeah, they want you to let them have friends. They don't want you to catch them at home. They want you to let them go out. They don't just want you to be a parent. They want you to also be a friend, and they want you to let them make their own choices, like let their choices count at some point. They do not want you to embarrass them in front of their peers. They don't want you to not listen to them. They want you to give listening ear to them at all times, and they want you to profess your love for them. Like, give them a cozy home. It's different when you just have mom, father, siblings, and when you have family, when you have a home full of love. Okay, so this has brought me to the end of my video. It's a very long video. I'm sorry about it, but I'm hoping that somebody has learned one or two things from this video. And in case you did pick anything you learned, please, I need you to go and expound on it. Every family, their cases are definitely different. Pick out points and put it in your family's scenario, and effect the necessary changes from it. And please give my video a thumbs up if there was one thing you learned from it. Apart from giving my video a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe. We want to grow, okay? To build with Amaka needs more family members. We are a family out here. And hey, I need to interact with you people. Like, I know I'm not speaking to ghosts. I know I'm speaking to amazing, human beings out there. Yes, yes, yes. Please leave me a hi, hello. Let's talk about, these things. What is your own experience? And you have 1 or 2 things to add, or 5 things, or 20 things to add. Please list it in the comment section. Come to the comment section. Let us gist. Let us talk. Do you understand? Go. All right. Thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.